Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jan Gesthuizen. I'm an editor at the European Coatings Journal, and I have the pleasure to welcome you today to this special webinar for Alpha Dispenser, an Italian company promoting innovation that offers integrated solutions and technologies to disrupt the paint sector. And today we are pleased to welcome Marco Rossetti and Angelo Vincenzi of Alpha Dispenser, who will introduce you to the company and the technology, of course. The title of the talk is into how to turn the crisis into opportunity. I'm sure this is something raising interest for not only for you, but for now, but also for the future. The talk may also cause some questions or comments from your side, and you're very welcome to post those questions on the question box that you should see somewhere on your screen, depending on what kind of screen you're using, of course. So I will collect all your comments and questions and then going to discuss them after the presentation with our two speakers. You can also find the Alpha Dispenser contact data on the screen if you want to get into contact with our speakers in the future. So let me introduce our speakers to you. Marco Rossetti is the founder and the CEO of the company. He will give you a short introduction of the company before Angelo Vincenzi, the sales director for the US, Canada, and the APAC region, will take over for the technical part. I'm curious to hear more about Alpha Dispenser and your technologies. So welcome you two, and if you're ready, you can start.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the European Coating for the great organization done. Today we are here as a company to discuss together with you game-changing solution to disrupt the paint sector. As you can see, the world is facing an epoch-making change, and as Alpha, we would like to be at your side to react with strength and turn this COVID-19 crisis into a huge opportunity that can change the rules of the market. As Alpha, we are an Italian-based company founded by my family with a long history in the paint market. Why Alpha is born? Because we would like to offer value-added solution into the whole sector of the paint. How is possible to do this? By understanding the needs of the market, edging the standard market rules to offer breaking solution, and creating solid project with our partner. For this reason, in Alpha, we have different division and specialists to support our customer into this journey. That's why, as you can see in the presentation, we have a wheels where the wheels defines the 360 degrees know-how of our company into the paint market, and every step has a clear niche and value that we can bring to the market. We can start from the division of the chemistry, so the know-how how paint is made. Then colorimetry, how paint can be colored from the factory to the point of sales. That allows us to have a know-how also in how factory can be produced, how paint can be produced in factory, and also in the point of sales can be colored thanks to the leading and edging in the pumps and the fluid dynamics technologies. That is a new patented pump that we have developed in order to give significant advantage to the market. Then smart unit, and why not calling them a dispenser? Because for us, we are the last in the market, but not the least, obviously, due to the experience we have. So we decide to start from scratch with dispenser, new generation dispenser that have the full knowledge and 4.0 technologies that can allow to create a new step in the market. Alpha is based in the north of Italy, in Bologna, the Automation Valley. So what we decide to do is also to bring to the market and to the final consumer a user-friendly dispenser, really a vending machine that can produce you sample pot in order to follow your consumer. So automation has been implemented into a traditional dispenser that we have present in the market now and then. Software division is obviously very important for us because allow us to create a new outstanding solution that allow you to manage machine from remote whenever they are collecting data, and also in the COVID, that's allow you to optimize the control of your equipment on field. Everything that you can see is possible only because we have a division that offer you consultancy and service and support you as a partner and not only as a customer in the whole process that we want to present to you as a solution. In order to do this, we are not able only to sell a product, but we have to sell you and to present with you a project that can bring us the possibility to work together from the beginning to the end. So the real reason why we decide to found Alpha is also that we make a significant analysis in the market, and we see that no innovation was done after several years in the market. So the latest innovation was the tinting system. So that's why we decide to bring some innovation into the paint market to give value added to the whole chain. How is possible this? Obviously, starting from my family experience that was having a paint company, and was one of the founder of Korob, that was one of the leading producer of equipment. And he sold both of the business, obviously, at the end of the 90s. But most important of having a paint company and an equipment company was to create an integration and providing solution to the customer since that time. That's why it was possible also to Korob to grow a lot and to accelerate the tinting system in the world market. With the same logics, we try to do the same things today, offering with a full integrated solution and the system to our customer the possibility to implement our solution that we have. In order to do this worldwide, what we decide to do is at the beginning of 2020, we decide to make to open the share of the capital of Alpha to another family that is leading a multinational company. That name is IMA, that is another Italian-based multinational company that have an automation knowledge, a global structure, and a financial and business stability that can support Alpha in growing in the paint market with their knowledge, with the possibility to support Rossetti family with the vision of the future need, and implementing in a massive way and in a faster way innovative product and solution. IMA is very important because the revenues is around 1.7 billion euros. They have a worldwide presence in more than 85 locations worldwide, so they can accelerate a lot our stability and in order to give support to our customer whenever they are. In order to implement the Alpha technologies and the Alpha solution, what we decide to do is to present all our solution into 3 different but very complementary projects that can bring benefit to the entire supply chain. Those projects, as you can see, and Angelo will going to explain to you, are fully flexible, modular, and scalable, and that can be implemented at your convenience. One of the most iconic projects for us is the master system, which our customer consider the natural evolution of the actual tinting system in the market. Then we have the simple technology that is our way to support our customer in order to sell more colored paint while being closer to the final consumer. Last product, but not the least, the Smart Unit project, that is the natural outcome of all our technologies and fully available for you starting from day one for your daily business activities. Now, I will remain at your support at the end of the presentation in order to support Angelo in answering all the presentation, and I leave to him to move forward with the project explanation.
Yes, thank you, Marco, for your introduction. As Marco suggested, we have 3 types of projects that we clearly defined, all of them flexible, interchangeable, something that can evolve over time in your company. Let's focus first on the master system. To explain what the master system can give to you, let's have a moment to analyze what the state of the art of the current technology that allowed all of us to produce colored paint. Tinting system has been serving our industry for the past 30, maybe 40 years. We know in and out how the tinting system is designed, what's the behavior of it. So we understand that we needed to accept some compromises to make it functional on the marketplace. Every product has a multiple bases. In the best optimized tinting system that we know, maybe only 2 bases, but multiple bases from white to clear. So in order to achieve all the colors and all the situation of the colors, there is an excess of titanium that you experience all the time. You have to correct your base, adding on titanium in the form of the white colorants, as well as excess of colorants when you need to correct the base because it's too white. So you have to achieve darker colors, so you add on colorants. At the same time, you use the colorants to top up your can. So it's a very expensive, let's say, way of making colors. At the same time, we know by experience that the PVC content, so the quality, pretty much the quality of your paint could change from what is the white paint, the pastel base, all the way down to the clear base. So that could create some differences on expected performance of your very same product when you buy a light shade color or a dark shade color, including having a lower quality of performance and having higher cost on generate color in certain area of the color space. So things has improved from the very first version of the tinting system, but pretty much this is an image of what we try to manage today by handling the tinting system. So what we want to achieve, the disrupting change that we are bringing with the master, is to get you into this mindset. I mean, today with the tinting system, you are pretty much formulating the color in function of the base. So you have a predefined base, and then you get the best out of this base with the colorants, with the addition of colorants, but with some limitations. With the master system, you pretty much approach the production of color in a complete different way. You formulate your product base in function of the color that you want to achieve. So how do we do that? I hope that this slide visualizes as simple as possible how we execute the master. So master in the alpha process, innovation process, is one single base that identify your product. We call it master. And then by creating another 2-3 components, depend on the configuration of the master, so a number of slurries, we can optimize on the process of creating the color all those parameters that matters, like optimize capacity, gloss, or the cost, if you want to achieve the best possible cost. And you can execute that through the alpha dispensers, which we'll see later during the course of the presentation, have some key features to let you look behind what you do today, that is just dispensing colorants or certain type of colorants. What the master can do for you, what the master can do for your company. 3 very important points. It brings simplification. Simplify could enhance some feature of your products, and it could make it a sustainable business. With these 3 elements, we hopefully please all the stakeholders on the supply chain, whether are internal stakeholders like production, logistics, chemicals, or the external stakeholders like your customer, like your distribution networks. When we talk about simplification, let's see what that is all about: reducing inventory, working capital, simplify the operation of the point of sale, and certainly increase profitability in the spaces that are giving available to you in the point of sale. To try to visualize this concept, this is pure number math, but can be obviously achieved with the implementation of the master. Today, that's your situation for a product, a possible scenario. You have 5 products with different finishes, 4 bases per each product, 3 can sizes. Ultimately, the count is you need 45 SKUs to cope with the demand of this particular product. If you implement the master, in your company, this is what you achieve. Basically, you will reduce your SKU down to 15 with instant advantages in production, distribution, and working capital overall. There is another step that we can make for you that could be developed and discovered along the way while we do the technical assessment in the lab. We've been able, in certain cases, with the cooperation of customer and partners, to affect the finishes as well. So we'll be able, with the formulation of the additional components and manage them in a certain way to create the different finishes. So the SKUs can go down to 6 with obvious advantages for everybody. So that's an important simplification. Think about what you can do once you have this situation on hand. So this is an example like looking at the shelf of a point of sale where on the tinting system, you need the whole shelf to accommodate all the bases of your system. With the master, you can make space for display more product. That's a very important point when you are, let's say, stuck into a defined space, especially on a retail or a DIY point of sale. So you can display more product and increase your visibility and your presence in terms of square meter in that particular store. What can we enhance with the application of the master? We can focus on the color, we can focus on the quality of your products. The experience is telling us that when we do color matching, managing the master components, we can go straight to the target of the color in a more effective way. We can adjust the ratio between the paint, the corons, the titanium, straight to the point. So better delta E, better metamerism, all the other, let's say, components that affect the perception of the color. And the color space that you can cover is way larger. We achieve in certain cases like 95% of perfect accepted delta E all over a fan deck. And even the color like the Pantone orange color that you see right here, which are, let's say, well known for being very saturated color, not born for paint, typically for ink and other application. We've been able to pretty accurately to match these kind of colors as well with our technology, with no more mistint, better color matching. So, and these samples that you see on the screen now are not made in the lab. These are made straight away at the point of sale, directly out of a tinting machine. Let's talk about the quality of the paint for a moment. In this blue graph, we represent what is the, let's say, the vision of the quality and PVC content inside your bases. So the pastel base, which normally defines your best quality, then it goes lower and lower when we go towards the clear bases. With the master, we've been able to find the right balance to keep this quality very, very stable, with the advantage that you can rely on reliable costing all across the color space, reliable, let's say, quality. So you're not, let's say, forced to buy certain colors or avoid to buy certain colors to have quality issues. And it's proven that making tinted paint, making colors paint could result to be even cheaper than making white. That's a very important slide. I will spend a few moments on this one because that combines enhancing product quality as well as deciding a strategy, an important strategy that can be available for you once you master the master. So the stripe here, the red stripes are colors. We have done this over a number of colors to cover all the color space. So Ultra Plus is where tinting system is today. Now we went after the same performance of the tinting system with the master, and as a result of it, at the end, of all the supply chain, there was a saving, a measurable saving of 13% in cost of producing and achieving these results. We attempted to go a bit farther with 17%, but we were kind of drifting away from what's the target we wanted, so we stopped at 13. Then here comes the decision: what we're going to do with this, with the savings? Many choices. I think in a very smart way, this particular company decided to invest part of these savings to present to the market a more performing product. So simply still saving 5%, the paint that was delivered had a higher hiding power, and then we see later a few other characteristics that were enhanced by the introduction of different colorants and raw materials. Ultimately, the paint was given to this CRGI, which is an independent test body in the United States, and out of a blind test, without explaining what was done behind this, the master paint score all the highest possible score against the other paint. So that was very, very rewarding, and that has given the possibility to this company to build a strategy, to go after their competitors with a paint that pretty much cost the same but higher performance, and they could prove it on the field straight away. Again, other things that you can do once you have the master in your hands is to discover the freedom of color matching. That's a bit of a romantic statement that we got from a customer that they said, okay, now I can do all the matching we want, let's go for it. So on those products, medium low quality, which is not always so easy to add on colors for the pleasure of the marketing team, they say, okay, let's get 3,000 color more out of it. And that was a very, very successful campaign thanks to the application of the master. We mentioned that this is a sustainable project. Why sustainable? There is a clear reduction of and optimization of use of raw material. We'll see what it means in the production space to handle the master. We saw it already, and we have another short session about this, how you can optimize the colors, and it increases the profit of the company. Let's go back to the color for a moment. Again, matching the performance of the colors based on the benchmark of the tinting system. So we've been able with the master to achieve this 13% savings, but on the process, these were the comments that we were getting from our customer. Master system is more versatile, more economical. You can optimize, you can choose color by color what matters to you. You want more opacity, you want a better costing, more performance, you can do it. And here comes, let's say, the decision of what to do with the saving. And in this particular case, what was done was to add on in the system or substitute a number of colorants in the system with higher concentrated colorants, because our machine can handle that thanks to the design of the pumps, thanks to the accuracy. So, and the concentration was not just double, it was really, really much higher. And secondly, few colorants with higher performance were added on in order to improve those like exterior fastness. I mean, all those that are normally the weak point of certain colors. Always keeping your costs under control. And in this particular case, the famous 5% saving. So imagine you have on hand a very, let's say, competitive products for a cost that is cheaper than your usual. So you can build a very, very intense strategy out of it. What happened in the factory when you implement the master? We experience now finally to build a master factory from greenfield, and it's nice to see how you can optimize all the components. So because you don't need to produce all the number of bases for your tinting system paint, you can focus on getting the best out of your machinery. So the batches that you make for the master are perfectly designed to match your perfect production flow. The titanium dioxide dispersion production is isolated in a single unique process, so you can use specific machine for that to get the best out of milling the titanium dioxide. And the QC part, the check of the color strength, which is a very key part of your operation in the factory, are now focused on the titanium slurry only, so with clear advantages. These are only three of the other, let's say, many advantages that we can line up. Another one, not least important, is that you see it from the scheme here that once you have the master components on your hands, whether you do tinting during filling in your factory or you send the master component out of the point of sale, you can claim, you can grant to your customers, professionals, retailers, the same quality, the same color, the same cost as well, whether it's factory production or point of sale production. And that's also a very important factor. These numbers are feedback from those customers that already implemented the master or are experiencing a pilot test. We know this number is great to have confirmation on field from those that already implemented it. So to close, I believe that master could really give important benefit, could put you ahead of your competition, and it's going to make all your stakeholders happy. It's a sustainable project. It goes towards, let's say, green, let's say, data because of all the savings, because of all the optimization that you have along the supply chain. And Alpha can support you from the beginning, from the implementation, from the evaluation, all across the process, sharing experience both ways, our experience of implementing the master and your experience of what you want to achieve from the marketplace. So with this one, we close the first session that is dedicated to the master project, and we move on to the sample technology. We all know how sample is extremely fashionable in these days. Everyone wants to produce sample. Everyone wants to bring home a sample or get a sample home over the e-commerce. So let's see how we fit into this. This is the situation as it is today. We know it very well. Samples on demand, so the lab has to, like, say, get themselves together and start producing samples manually, or there are solutions where you can tint sample, but you still have to, let's say, have a number, a very complicated logistic exercise to have all your little containers with all the bases going around your retailers. And not every machine in the marketplace is able to tint particularly small samples. So sometimes you have to settle for certain colors to have a very, very large sample like half a liter or a quarter or a liter. Color cards has been available since we remember. It's very nice as well as very expensive, and they are still very small. At the end, you have to bring home a larger sample if you can to give you the assurance of what you put up on the wall. Then there is the ready mix. Ready mix is reliable color, of course, but is limited. Again, keeping ready mix up to date at the point of sale is a very, very costly and complicated logistic exercise. Ultimately, the digital platform, which became so popular in the last 3-4 months, where unfortunately all of us, we got a bit, let's say, stuck in our places. So obviously digital platform became very popular, but how can you 100% rely on, let's say, the color that you see on the screen to then go buy 20, 30, 100 liters to paint your room or to paint your house? So a sample is very important, very, very important. So how do we do that? How Alpha is facing the sample scenario? In Alpha, we produce sample. I want to underline this point. We don't tint sample. We produce sample in 100 milliliter, which is, I think, is a good size to make it small enough to be, let's say, manageable, even to ship it by mail, by courier. And is large enough to make let's say, a good sample on the wall that gives you a good feel of the paint. You can do it in any color, in any sheen, in time, starting from an empty can. Whether you are in a, let's say, in a shopping mall, whether you are in a point of sale with a Thor machine, or whether you are in your lab or in the operation that you built up for your e-commerce. How do we do that? Why we say that we produce samples? Because we have the technology not to dispense colorants, which, by the way, we do it with an extreme accuracy. Otherwise, there is no 100 milliliter sample unless you are able to manage such a small accuracy. But we dispense bases as well, bases and slurries. So you see the design of our machine, the current session on the top, and at the bottom, the larger canister, the larger pumps to accommodate the basis of the slurry. So you can, let's say, extremely simplify your logistic exercise, send around only empty cans and lids, and let the color tester do it automatically in let's say, in every location. Is a standalone machine that can be virtually put in every location or directly at the point of sale or in your lab. Let's talk a moment about the color tester. Is probably our most iconic machine. Alpha is very well known for that. It's the first vending machine to produce paint sample, and really it can help you to open new sales channel. You can promote your brand, you can promote your colors outside your usual environment, which is the paint shop. And then is the Thor, which is an ordinary tinting machine. It's a normal dispenser to tint paint, as well as going down with an accuracy able to tint samples. This is just an example which we want to share with you, how samples can feature at the point of sale to make, let's say, colors very, very appealing to the customers. All these samples are produced locally by the color tester, put on display. Customer can pick up the color there. If they don't find the color they want, they just go across the machine and they could produce their own sample and bring it home. Then to enhance this service, you can have promotion, you can have hostesses during the weekend to attract customer, but it's very, very important. It's a measurable tool to convert samples that you deliver into more sales. And then, of course, the e-commerce that's became so popular in these days. So we provide the technology behind the scenes of those companies that has created, some of them even instantly, I mean, over a week to cope with the situation. Over 800 samples in a month were produced in some cases, thanks to the Alpha technology behind the scene of these e-commerce platforms. Then, let's say, the Color Lab, which is the machine for your lab. Colorants, the bases as well. You see here the movable trays that allows you to handle multiple products, and they are exchangeable, so very flexible production, and ultimately can allow you what you normally do in a sizable can, at least 1 liter or half a liter. You can do it in 100 mils, and that would make you save so much raw material and so much costing, of course. This is a bit how the sample promotion has been developed around the world with our equipment. So machine is fully personalized, standing alone in different, let's say, point of sales or areas of promotion. What you see here with the 3 color labs is the production unit behind the scene of our e-commerce solution, and that's a Thor into a normal POS with the let's say, device for holding the caps and the lids for the sample production. So let's conclude the section of the samples, and the very last part, but very important, of course, is an introduction to you of what the Alpha machine can do. These are the equipment that make it possible to execute what we have presented up until now. And we call it smart unit for a number of good reasons. First thing first, it's nice to notice that, as Marco pointed in his introduction, Alpha is a relatively new company, a lot of, let's say, heritage and background, but a relatively new company. So the definition of the product portfolio was very nice, very clear, very clean, same components, same dispensing technology, all across the product range, starting from lab application, professional and desk tinting equipment for medium, large paint shop, the Thor machine for the medium, small, and the color tester for the kiosk application. Technology of Alpha has a number of innovative patented solutions. We are innovators. We are proud of saying that. Why we call it smart units? Because all the intelligence, all the electronics that you need are already on board of the machine. You don't need a PC to drive an Alpha machine. As long as you have a device that can handle a browser, that is your mobile phone or a tablet, you can handle Alpha machine. Computer is on board, so sensors and I mean all intelligence that translate into constant control of your equipment and as a result of it, of your business. So machine can be take advantage of the internet platforms, all the cloud, collect big data, which are so important for developing our business, whether are marketing data, like collecting from the machine, let's say usage data, like colors, which are the most favorite colors across a particular city or region or country. And then laboratory data as well, control the consumption of currents, bases. Labs can send over data to upgrade the machine in time. And service as well, very important. The machine can talk to the service team and advise whether something is happening or keeping under control the consumption of certain component, and send warnings through SMS if is necessary. All this goes into the direction of serving the purpose of giving you the best total cost of ownership that you can imagine for your machine. Let's focus a moment on the alpha technology. It's very important that we explain this. What is alpha technology? First thing first, we do not compromise in accuracy. Repeatability, minimum drop, that's paramount. We don't compromise in that. We are very precise, very accurate, going down to such a small unit as you see it on the screen. No wear and tear. The pump is designed in a way that once we calibrated the machine once, actually, we don't even call it calibration, we call it characterization. So we understand how the colorants and the circuits behave. We do an initial setup, and then we can copy that over and over again in the rest of the machine. No mistint. Total cost of ownership is the lowest in the industry. It's proven by those customers that already installed the machine in the marketplace. Reliable in every condition. We've been taking care of the critical area of operation of the machine, like the dispensing nozzle. So there is a patented ultrasonic humidifier which protect the dispensing nozzle, temperature sensor, heater, just to keep the machine in reliable condition to perform to its best in every situation. Every circuit is independent, so we know very well that colorants are different. Each and every colorant has a different rheology, different viscosity, different behave. So every colorant can be set up perfectly to accommodate the performance of that particular colorant, and then can be, let's say, copied over to other machine. It's very robust, very ergonomic. We design our machine keeping in mind what tinting equipment endure at the point of sale, how customer using it. There's smart technology in it. We saw it already. Collect information, exchange data in a bidirectional way to make it more exciting to work in it. And as we said, all the intelligence we need is on board of the machine. You can connect with the browser, and you can operate your machine without a personal computer. One mention, very important, is on the pump. Pump is a patented seal-free piston. It's a combination of, let's say, piston and bellow technology. We've been able to handle these two components together, get out of it a superb accuracy. The current is pretty much acting like a lubricant inside it. There is absolutely no wear and tear. These pumps can keep dispensing accurately over time for many years without letting you down in terms of precision over time. The very same technology all across the Alpha portfolio of products can be scaled down, scaled up, but it's the same concept, same technology, and applied simultaneously or sequential, depend on the application. I mentioned earlier, we don't compromise on accuracy. This is the way how we visualize that to you. In this particular area here, these 3 drops is our 3/8 fraction of fluid ounce looks like, what pretty much any ordinary machine can do. You go all the way down to 10 times smaller. We can do it again and again and again, and everything in between. These are panels that we get from lab, from our customers, where they really enjoy the fact that they can match colors, reproduce them in a quarter, in a gallon, with no worries at all whether the accuracy is there. It's very, very consistent, and it gives you confidence going forward. So now a quick look on the machine. We saw it during the presentation. So the lab application, the Thor machine, which is extremely flexible, can accommodate some of the projects that we presented to you earlier, where there is only dispensing currents, current and basis for the sampling, and the master. This is the machine for the POS, medium, large application in the design for professional. Just a mention on the color tester, this is a kiosk unit. So there is a very easy, intuitive user interface with many other devices on the machine that makes it standalone, user-friendly, including mixing station, so you can pick up your sample out of the color tester ready to use, ready to apply on the wall. So this is what Alpha has achieved. We thank all the customers represented here on by the red flags, which has trusted our technology, invested in Alpha, and also the blue flags, which are our partners, our agent distributors, which help us to grow more and more. So think about it. Please remember all the savings that you've seen earlier, the profitability that you get from the project, the service that you can provide to your customer, and certainly put you ahead of your competition on implementing the master. So in these difficult times, I think it's important to look forward, not to look back, not to look present and complain. Just look forward. Think about what Alpha can do for you, developing project in partnership with you, including, let's say, working out financial solution or financial assessment to see how to implement your system by phases and support you during the launch and get finally away from these 4 years of technology stuck always in the same point. So we thank you for your attention. It's been really important for us to have this presentation. These are our contact details. So thank you very much for listening and for your attention.